dear class. In this video, I will outline the guidelines for completing the course, focusing on the rules of the Oxford debate, which is a key part of your assessment. First, let me briefly introduce myself so you know a bit about my background. Next, I will explain how credit points are allocated. Then we discuss the Oxford debate, how teams are organized, your individual responsibilities, and important deadlines. A bit about myself. I have a deep passion for nature and adventure. I love trekking through mountains with my backpack, tent, and cooking kit for weeks at a time. The photo shows a section of the Sentiero Italia where I have already hiked nearly 5,000 kilometers. I also enjoy kayaking, mountain biking, and climbing in stunning places like the high peaks of South America, Georgia, and Kyrgyzstan. Crafting is another passion of mine. Here's a glimpse of my rainbow-colored wedding dress, which I crocheted. Languages are central to my professional life. I teach in 4 languages and speak nearly 10. Most of my publications are in English. My last 2 books were published by Routledge, and I'm currently working on 2 more, focusing on sustainable consumption, in ethics and business. We learn most effectively through debate and discussion. You can earn a substantial 80 out of 100 points by participating in our debates. This engaging format will help us practice teamwork, develop persuasive presentation skills, and conduct critical analysis of various issues both in writing and verbally. The 80 points will be awarded based on your group's preparation of a critical analysis of the debate topic, presenting arguments for and against, as well as evaluating the debates conducted by other groups. The remaining 20 points will be allocated for the test. You may already be familiar with the Oxford debate, especially if you have completed the recommended exercise that showcase the exceptional debates held at Oxford. To deepen your understanding, I encourage you to dive into the available materials. These resources will clarify the rules of the Oxford debate and guide you on how to earn valuable points for your participation. I use traffic lights as a metaphor for the Oxford debate, capturing the tension between opposing positions. Green and red light. The metaphor highlights the essence of the debate, where one group advocates for the thesis and the other challenges it, while the yellow light acts as a constructive observer and evaluator. So how will we organize our upcoming debates? We will split into 3 groups of around 10 people, identified by the colors red, green, and yellow. These group colors will remain consistent for each debate. Each debate team will consist of 10 members, 5 from the proposition side and 5 from the opposition. If you have only 8 participants, the 3rd and 4th speakers from each group will take on the role of questioning the opposing team. Additionally, there will be 5 members from the evaluation group, meaning about 15 people will actively participate in each debate. For 30 participants, we hold 3 debates, and for 60 participants, we organize 6. Each group is a team of individuals who will take on different roles during the debates. The Oxford debate provides an opportunity for integration and effective collaboration, allowing us to harness the potential of everyone in the group. By fulfilling our roles promptly and effectively, we support one another in achieving our common goals. During the debate, participants should film their contributions and upload the recordings to the appropriate folders by the specified deadlines. Let me present an example of how the team division works, specifically for the red group in debate 1. In this scenario, the red group will take on the role of the proposition and designate speakers 1, 2, 3, and 4. as well as a person to pose questions to the opposing team. If there are fewer than 5 participants, speakers 3 and 4 will take on the questioning role. Speakers 1 and 2 will then respond to the question posed by the opposing team. In the debate 2, the same group will switch to the role of the opposition, assigning speakers 1, 2, 3 and 4, as well as someone to pose questions. It's important to keep in mind that in debate 3, this group will serve as the audience, so they will need to reserve members to act as evaluators for that debate. As we assign roles, let's make sure that everyone takes on an active part in at least 2 debates. This way, everyone stays fully engaged and gains the most from participating in as many discussions as possible. Let's recap the responsibilities for each role. Speaker 1 not only greets the audience, introduces the team, and presents their interpretation of the motion, but also, along with Speaker 2, responds to questions posed by the opposing team. Speaker 2 develops the team's argument and also responds to the opposing team's questions. Speaker 3 focuses on countering the opposing team's argument. Speaker 4 sums up the team's arguments and proves their victory. This speaker will also be responsible for finalizing the debate by compiling all the recording into a single video, approximately 60 minutes long, and uploading it for the audience. In debate 1, this task will be handled by the green team speakers, in debate 2 by the red team speaker, and in debate 3 by the yellow team speaker. Here's an example of the positions each group will take in the 3 debates, whether they will be in the proposition team, pro, the opposing team, contra, or acting as the audience evaluating the other teams. We are now starting the first debate. The proposition team will go first. Speaker 1 will open by greeting the audience, introducing themselves and their team, explaining the interpretation of the motion, outlining the main argument, and giving a brief overview of the debate. After this, it's time for the fifth speaker from the opposition, who follows the same structure but presents the opposing stance. As you can see, 5 minutes have passed, and it's now time for the second speaker from the proposition team to further develop the argument. Next, the second speaker from the opposition, the green team, steps up to present their argument against the motion. Perhaps something in their argument sparks questions. By questioning the opposition, we may uncover weaknesses in their case that can later help us counter their arguments. The opposing team answers this question with Speaker 1 and Speaker 2 responding, and they also have 5 minutes to do so. In the same way, the opposition will ask questions to the opposition team, who should respond accordingly. But that's not where the debate ends. We now move to refuting the opposition's arguments. The third speaker from the opposition team takes the floor to point out the flaws or inconsistencies in the opposing side's case. Naturally, the third speaker from the opposition does the same, breaking down the weaknesses in the proposition's arguments. Finally, it's time for the closing remarks. The fourth speaker from the proposition team summarizes the key points, restates the strongest arguments, and explain why the team has won the debate. They will emphasize the arguments that held up against the opposition counterpoints, and if needed, introduce new points to solidify their case. The opposition's fourth speaker will do exactly the same in their closing statement. But we wouldn't know who won the debate without the audience, in this case the yellow group, acting as the evaluators. Their job is to assess the debate by reviewing the evaluation criteria provided in the debate rules and the Excel document. They will enter their scores into the Excel sheet evaluating both the teams and individual speakers. The feedback won't just be about numbers. They will also provide written comments explaining which argument had the biggest impact on their final decision. We have around 10 different criteria to evaluate the debate, so there's plenty to cover. So how should we divide roles within the group to ensure all tasks are completed? I will give you a suggested setup assuming each group has 10 members. Here's an example for the red team. Of course, you are welcome to suggest a different arrangement using the attached table. Most tasks have clear individual responsibilities, with only the research being done collectively by the group. Make sure to note everyone's contribution. Before each debate, the proposition team prepares research on the motion. Red for the first debate, green for the second, and yellow for the third. The findings should be recorded in a Word document using the provided template. All necessary files are available on Teams or Moodle, clearly organized in a labeled Excel sheet. Video files from the speakers should also be uploaded into the corresponding folders. When are the files due? Deadlines are set at the start of each new module to keep things simple. New module, new task, new deadline. It's all straightforward. Each stage of the debate determines our next step. For example, the proposition team must submit the research before module 2 begins. The first speaker's presentations must be recorded and uploaded before module 3 starts. The second speakers from both proposition and opposition should post their speeches by the start of module 4. At that point, both teams will have the chance to ask each other questions, Q&A, with a deadline before the start of module 5. After that, the first and second speakers from both sides must respond to the questions by the beginning of module 6. Each subsequent week is allocated for the third and fourth speakers, who should upload their files on time. The schedule clearly outlines what tasks and materials are due, with purple blocks showing the deadlines and file types marked with symbols. On the next 3 slides, you will see the file submission timeline for each debate, reflecting the different roles of each team. Feel free to pause the video if you would like a closer look. Here's our graphic timelines for debate 1, 2, and 3. Here is the graphic timeline for debate 1. And here is the graphic timeline for debate 2. Finally, here is the graphic timeline for debate 3. On this slide, you can see how the fourth speaker from the opposition team compiles and shares the final debate video. The debate, as a single video file lasting around 60 minutes, will be made available to the audience. Remember to add captions that clearly mark the title and each section. For example, Speaker 1, proposition, Speaker 2, opposition, and so on, using the designed colors shown in the diagram. Based on this video, the evaluation team, the audience, will prepare their report. That's all for now. I wish you lots of energy, joy and fun throughout the course, and especially during the debates. I hope you enjoy tackling with various tasks, embrace self-development, and have a fantastic experience. All the best!